Well, it says we're live on Facebook. It says we're live. So good morning, everybody. Happy Monday morning to you.
Good morning. Monday morning.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Well, we are Angel and Tina. We are starting our first ever morning TV talk show on this beautiful Monday morning. How you doing, Tina?
I am doing great. Have my cup of coffee in hand.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we are, like, I've got all four of us on the screen on
Awesome.
Facebook.
Let me start my watch party.
So everybody smile big for the camera on this Monday morning.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Actually, all right. So look, I put out that video. So we might have a few other.
We should have waited.
we probably have a few other guests popping on. This is the morning TV show, brand new inaugural episode of the morning TV show here on Facebook with Tina and Angel. And we have our inaugural guest here kind of hanging out in our virtual green room. We've got Martha and Roosevelt that we will bring on and get to know them a whole lot better. But you know, we a couple weeks ago, Tina and I were chit-chatting as we were all getting ready to go into quarantine, and decided we would put together a virtual summit to bring people together and to connect. It kicked off a couple weeks ago, right? We had our first summit a couple weeks ago, and it was so much fun. We had such a good time. It was 12 hours nonstop of broadcasting. And after that, Tina says, we got to do a talk show.
Well, we had so many people tell us that we have such good energy and we needed to do a talk show, right? So we were like, let's do a talk show while we're under quarantine and bring some brightness and sunshine and fun and laughter early in the morning.
And here we are. And I'm not a morning person, right?
And I'm not a morning person.
But it's like we're busier now.
Coffee is our best friend.
And so like this was the only time of day that we're like, okay, before everything else gets going at the beginning of the day. Although I'll tell you what, I had my alarm go off this morning and I thought, what was I thinking?
Listen, and I don't sleep very good. So I like insomnia came to see me last night at 2:30 this morning. So I was like bright awake at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, not today.
Martha, are you a morning person, Martha?
Not at all.
Not at all. And it's 7 a.m. in Cali.
Yeah, she's on so it's 7 a.m. for Martha. Goodness, girl. Thank you. Kudos to you. 8 a.m. for me. How about you, Roosevelt? You a morning person?
I try not to be, but yeah, it happens.
And it's 10 a.m. for Roosevelt and I, because he's in the same time zone as I am.
Yes.
So it's not too early, but
not too early. Yeah.
You know, when you're a woman and you got to get up and shower and makeup and hair and do all this.
How long did it take you to do your hair, Roosevelt?
Yeah.
It looks so good.
I love it.
I love it. Well, I love that the two of you, without really even knowing what you were jumping into, because of course there's no, like, what is this going to look like? What is this? Like, we don't know. Right?
We didn't know either.
We're creating it as we go. And the two of you jumped in and said, well, whatever it is, I want to be a part of it. So yes. God bless you for coming up.
Thank you. And we announced it on Facebook Live. And you guys were the first two people to say, I'm in.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. How's your quarantine going?
Here's the thing with jumping on with you, both of you guys, your energy, your laughter, everything. I just said, whatever they're doing, I want to do some of that. That's why I said, I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, what have you been doing? What have you been doing during your quarantine, Martha?
A combination of things. I think for me, it's kind of, I call it my reboot, my refuel. And just regrouping and just really realizing like a lot of things that maybe I should have been doing and I wasn't doing. Somebody put on Facebook, it's lack of time management. And so, yeah, you know what, possibly so, I will admit that. And so just kind of regrouping, revamping the business and just really, getting myself together, because I know this too shall pass, right? This whole season is going to pass. And so I just know that, good things are coming our way. Yeah, and just working on health, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and hired on 2 new coaches, which I'm super excited. And yeah, I'm super excited. So just kind of a little bit of everything. And of course, it's hard. I think that we all go through challenges, right? Where it's really difficult. We go through sadness, depression. We're happy again because we've
Now,
got to
Martha,
make.
you're an extrovert, right?
Pardon me?
And you're an extrovert, right?
I'm an extrovert? No.
Are you an extrovert?
I don't think so.
You're an introvert?
Not really.
Really? I would
Yeah.
think that you're an extrovert.
I'm kind of a combination, I think.
Really? Okay.
I do like my space, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of feel like, okay, God's pushing me to another level.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I think it's hard for extroverts to kind of go through quarantine.
Mhm.
Right.
Because we're always, I always say my girlfriends always made me thrive and going to events and going to networking events and doing that.
Yeah.
I thrive in those kind of events, and being
Mhm.
home all the time. I'm
Right.
like, however, I am getting a lot of stuff done.
Yeah.
What about you, Roosevelt? Are you an extrovert or introvert?
Well, I've been forced to become a combination of both.
Yeah.
I love being outside. I love being around people. But being in the military, you get sucked into that box, and then you get pushed out into the open. So yeah, but it's great. I don't mind either way. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you familiar? Have you guys heard of the word? Is it ambivert? I think it is.
It's a little bit of both, right?
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, right.
Right.
And I think that, rather than being like an extreme extrovert versus an extreme introvert, I think it probably all like depending on the situation and like I was, because I think I'm truly an introvert, because the definition that I heard between extrovert and introvert is how you like to recharge. If you have to be around people, right, to get recharged, or if you need to be alone to recharge, because I'm not a shy person and I'm not a wallflower. And I think a lot of times people think that introverts like just don't like people, like they're like socially
awkward,
right? Yeah, right. Like, but I don't think so. I think I read and I loved the description is how you refuel and recharge. If you're one of those people who has to work like at the local coffee shop, like with all the buzz around you and the noise and the right, and just always have activity, or do you need quiet time? And I'm a quiet time person. So
but see, after those events that you go to, like I've been through so many events, I like to stay home and just veg in my pajamas and have a pajama day. So I don't know, I might be a combination of both.
Yeah, I think so.
Because after those events, I'm like, oh my gosh, that took a lot of my energy.
Right. Okay. So what's been your like, okay, so I don't know, should I start with the hardest thing about quarantining or the favorite thing about quarantine?
Let's do the hardest thing first.
And then we end on a high note, right?
And then end on a high note.
Okay. So Roosevelt, what's been the hardest thing about quarantining?
Getting my groceries. So
right.
used to they bring it to your door. Now you got to go back downstairs to get it. And I live on the 34th floor, so my threat every day is that the elevator won't work.
That'll be a long way back up those stairs.
But
you're getting your exercise, right?
Right?
Your groceries.
Yeah.
But
girl, can you imagine going up 34 floors of stairs? Good Lord.
I don't want to imagine it.
So we'll just pray that the elevator never goes out on you.
Yeah. But on a serious note, just seeing the reaction of people when you're walking and doing things and how they, like shoot away from you a little bit. So there's like you got to kill each other or something. Yeah, that mental part has been kind of like the hardest thing because there's no social interaction, and I like that, So they won't even say hi to you around here,
No. I go out,
ours,
out on the trails, and there's all families, which I think it's beautiful, like to see full families out walking, like tons of full families are out walking, and the trails are pretty crazy. They're pretty crowded, but people aren't even talking to each other. Yeah, so we kind of give that social distancing as we walk by, right? We all kind of walk around each other and we wave, like we kind of give a little wave or a little nod. but nobody wants to talk to each other. Like we're gonna breathe on each other when
Right.
we talk. So
Right.
yeah,
That's funny because I have the opposite here. I was walking my dog the other day and I felt like I was in a Wisteria Lane back in the Desperate Housewives, era. And there was probably about 100 people out. Everybody's walking and talking and hello. I mean, not talking to each other, but like as they're walking, hello, good morning, good morning.
oh,
Well,
Gosh, I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone.
that is weird. That is funny. Okay, Martha, how about you? What's the hardest thing about quarantining?
I think I concur with Roosevelt. It's the hardest part is, getting in your car and saying, oh, I'm going to go to Target. Oh, I'm going to go here. Oh, I'm going to go there. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, no, maybe not. Right. So I think that's the hardest part also is just not being able to just jump in our car and go. And the grocery delivery that we have, I don't know how it is where you're located, but here where I'm situated, it seems like they're messing up my order. I'm not getting what I've ordered. They want to replace everything that I've ordered. And I'm like, okay, I didn't order this. Why did I get this, right?
It's like you got somebody else's groceries.
Yes, yes. Maybe two or three of the items
out of stock.
Yeah, 2 or 3 of the items is what I wanted. And then they give me some other stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, so annoying, so annoying.
We brought our kids home. Like our daughters live in Florida and they closed Disney World, weeks ago. So we brought them home, which has been fabulous to have them here. And so we've been quarantining as a family, which has been so lovely. But I keep thinking, oh, you're here. We should go to the dentist. I should get your eyes checked. Like we could go and do this thing that we never get to do. And I keep like all these ideas. I'm like, oh, but yeah, we can't. Oh, but we can't. Like it's this constant, oh no. Right, Tina, what's been the hardest thing for you?
It's really not been that hard. I've been getting a lot of work done, not being able to have to travel and leave and go places, and I have, a good friend of mine that I live with. So it's, we just been having a good time. And I've been getting a lot of work done. So I think that probably is it's not as hard as I thought it was. But I concur too with the grocery thing. Because, there's always time you want to get out and let's go to Starbucks or let's go here and let's go here. And I'm like, oh, wait. Or we'll go to the Starbucks drive-through and there's like 100 people in line. I'm like, oh, and I'm a Starbucks addict. And so I'd probably do anything for Starbucks, but
I haven't had a Starbucks since, let me look at my calendar, March 12th.
Wow.
I haven't been out of my house other than like to go walk, right? But I haven't been in the car.
Oh, so you haven't even been out.
I haven't left my house since March 12th. Wednesday will be a full month of me of self-quarantining.
Like you're seriously self-quarantining.
But like, for a month, like I'm all right. Like I can do this for a month. I've got my family, right? We, there's not a whole lot that we really need after the first, few days of anxiety of watching. I think, so I have a wall calendar that has all my speaking events all, on my calendar and crossing it out. And it was depressing, right? Like there goes my livelihood and there goes, like, what am I going to do? And like, 5 events and 7 and then 12. I think I'm up to 29 events have been canceled and in 4 months, and they're all like being rescheduled for later in the year, which is now getting later in the year is looking a little crazy. But after like the initial like anxiety and shock and that everybody's in the same boat, like it's not just me, like this is happening to everybody. Then I realized like this is a gift, right? Like what a gift of time, like to all those things that we keep saying we don't have time for, we really could be doing right now. And we realized, I just didn't really want to do it. That's why I never got done.
Right.
And so like our basement, we keep saying we're going to clean out the basement. Like nobody wants to do that. It's not a matter of time.
Well, hey, now that the kids are home.
Nobody wants to do that. And so it's been like into pivot and to adjust, but I've always worked what we do is virtual. Like we're digital nomads, except for I do have a home, right? We do work from home. We do work digitally. And so I have been working longer. In fact, my husband the other night, I came, to dinner and he's like, I think we need to cut your hours. He's like, you are in that office all day, 12, 14 hours, even on the weekends. And so I didn't work yesterday. I didn't get any work done. I didn't come in the office. I didn't get any work done. So
Wait, you didn't go into the office not one time?
I mean, not
True.
I didn't really work. In fact, I sent somebody a text, I said, I'm trying not to work today. Can I do this on Tuesday? And she's like, yeah. So it was hard. All right. Well, let's get to the juicy. We want to get to know our guests.
Yes.
We want to get to know our guests. So, are we going to do ladies first?
Yeah. Let's
start with Miss Martha
first.
Fabulous. Well, let me pull up all of our details for our darling
I'm so
Martha.
excited to have you guys on the show. You guys are amazing. You guys just jumped in, all in, not knowing, okay, what is it? What do I do? How do I do this? You just said, I don't care. Let's just go.
I love it. Okay, so we have Miss Martha, expert healthcare CEO, recruiter, CEO and founder of Women's Legacy of Hope. She's a domestic violence consulting firm. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's an award winner of NABO, National Association of Women Business Owners, Woman of the Year 2012. She's an award winner from the state of California. She's a community representative for veterans. She's a board member. She's a co-chair for Loma Linda Hospital. Oh my gosh, this woman she's an award-winning guest.
She's a superwoman.
She is a superwoman. Martha, welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Okay, how did you become the award-winning everything and Woman of the Year and all of that? Like, what's your background?
So initially starting with the job training component many, many years ago. I won't say how many, but many, many, many. And just started to get involved with a sense of community and just seeing and realizing the needs of the community. And so participated myself. I was actually a recipient myself many, many years ago on the job training component. And that program initially started for the Vietnam veterans when they were coming home from Vietnam, right? They had no skills, they had no idea what kind of a career they wanted to get into. So the program initially was called the job training. I think it was JTPA initially. And so at any rate, I just became more and more just interested in wanting to know how this program worked and how could I reach out to the community, realizing that there were so many veterans that were looking for work, and including family members that I had that found themselves unemployed. So I think I just kind of began there and got involved with job development and started seeking employers that weren't familiar with the program. And the benefit to the employers is that the 50 to 70% reimbursement of tax credits upon hiring a veteran. So it's a win-win situation for both, right? So just started my journey back then and just kept climbing and climbing, got into human resources. And the more recruitment that I did, I just found myself gravitating towards the veterans. I'm just pro-veteran. So Roosevelt, I heard you're a veteran, right? So at any rate, just got more involved with the community and wanting to help. How could I help our community and our veterans? So that's how I kind of started. And to become award winner, actually, the state of California recognized me. I was working for a corporation out in Los Angeles, and they began to notice the numbers. This lady's hiring, the majority are veterans. What's going on here, right? So anyway, they came out to the branch of the company that I was working for and just started asking me questions. And I just told them that my heart and my passion was to help our community and our veterans, and utilizing the job training program as I could. And so then from there, had a break in between going to college. I was raising my son at the time and got hired on with a hospital facility and started recruiting in healthcare. So the healthcare passion became secondary. And just, again, just fell in love with working with healthcare, the nurses, the doctors, and every type of healthcare that was needed. So
so now you are an expert really in helping others. Like, get their businesses started, taking whether that's in the health and fitness or healthcare fitness or the healthcare industry or veteran industry. And I know you're going to share some great tips and tricks and tools and resources for us today. What you got?
I love the fact that both of them are veterans, and we didn't even know. Like I mean, I knew Roosevelt was, but it just, you know, the both of the guests being on here are having so much in common. That's great. I love it.
Right, those are little God winks, right?
Those God wings, right?
Yeah.
Well,
my dad
not
retired
veteran.
from the Navy. My brother was in the Navy, and my husband was in the Navy.
So I was a Navy brat. I was an Army wife, and now I'm an Army mom.
Look at that.
So we're all like military.
God bless
Veteran.
USA.
Yep, veteran. And my son's in the Navy out in Virginia Beach. If you're watching, hi son, I miss you.
Hi, Bendito. I love that.
So got into healthcare and just, you know, started recruiting and just found such a passion for it. Got involved with NABO. NABO is an excellent organization for women business owners. So kudos to NABO. And so I was awarded Woman of the Year in 2012. It was an affiliate award, which means an employer came in and saw the works that I was doing with the domestic violence and said, I think we need to give this lady an award. And that's how I got the Women of the Year award.
Congratulations.
Oh, I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are you working on now, Martha?
So
what can we see in 2020?
So definitely my channels, my focus is domestic violence. And interesting, along the lines working with the healthcare, as I got to know a lot of the doctors and a lot of the nurses and the healthcare professionals, they began to share their stories with me on how they had experienced personally domestic violence. And I thought, oh my gosh. And it wasn't just two, hundreds working with me about their stories that they personally experienced domestic violence. So that's when I knew that I had to just step up to the plate and regroup myself. Here we go with the regrouping, right? And this was actually last year when my book was published in October, which is Domestic Violence Month. And just had to get my story out there and just started sharing my book with some of the healthcare professionals that I work with. And they started coming to me and telling me, you know, I also had experienced domestic violence. So that's how this, you know, all came about, where I'm reaching out to my healthcare professionals. Did you see how I personalize that? My healthcare professionals. Because I love it. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about helping women, you know, just find their greatness, find their own voice, and to not be afraid to talk about what happened. There's no shame to what happened. You didn't do it. Somebody did that to you, right?
Yeah. I love that God winks, because they always bring the right people into your life, right? They always, like when you share your story, it's such a hard thing for you to do, right? And then when you do, all these people come and start sharing their story with you, and you're like, wow,
Right?
I'm not alone.
You think you're alone. You think it's only you, and you are. You're embarrassed that you got yourself into this, like whatever, all the feels, right?
Right.
And so you carry that yourself, but by releasing that and sharing that story, not only does it help you to heal you help to heal others, and like it's this beautiful reciprocal thing. But somebody's got to step out and be brave to start that, and that's been you, Martha.
And kudos to you for doing that, because it is a hard thing to go through, and it's a hard thing to overcome, but it's also a hard thing to share.
And you're sharing it now. You've written a book about it.
What is your book? What's the title of your book? Imagine that. We have one right here.
Award-winning author, right? Telling your story. What was it like to put that in print, Martha?
Interesting you should ask that question, Angel, because I had to rewrite it how many times when I would call you, say, Angel, I've got issues going on.
I need help.
Yeah, right.
We call Angel our angel of mercy, because she rescues us in our time of something's going on with my book.
Exactly. Exactly.
You get so worried, you're so freaked out, and I'm like, it's gonna be perfect, right? It's gonna be great. Actually, it's not perfect, right? Because it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's gonna
Because
be
done is better than perfect.
done is
Yes.
better than perfect.
And that's what I love about Angel is that she's so calming. I just believe that God just uses her in that capacity where she's so calming, where we can call her, we can be out of sorts, and Angel's like, okay, well, it's gonna come out at the right time. And that's all she said. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Don't worry. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Our Madam Media herself.
Right? So
I'm
it
super
was
proud that you could call me, right? That I could be a part of that, because I think you need that, right? Because you get all this stuff going on in your head, and when you're got all that stuff going on in your head, you don't move forward. And this is a project that really needs to come out. And so I'm super honored that I could be that for you, Martha. And so so tell us now, like, your big vision. Where is all this going?
Well, right before this coronavirus explosion, I was already working with a few of my doctors, and believe it or not, we were already planning our own platforms to travel the world. One of my doctors said, let's go universal. She's prepared to travel the world with me. And I was already making plans. I called an event planner. I was organizing. I was looking on the map. Okay, where should we go first? And so then we were looking at all these beautiful tropical places that we want to go, right? So we were making plans. So, and then this happened. So then I thought, okay, to me, I interpret it as, okay, this is perhaps God saying, slow your roll, calm down. We need to fix some things here, and we're going to start tweaking things. That's why, I really feel like, you know what, this is the time where God is saying, slow your roll to the world, right?
Yes.
Slow your roll. If somebody should type that in the chat.
Hashtag it. Slow your roll.
Hashtag slow your roll, right?
God
I think you're right, Martha. I think he's telling us to step back, to enjoy family again, to get back to your self-care, because we were so busy, right? And we always was busy.
Yes, absolutely. And to what Angel said just a little bit earlier about her husband saying, I think we need to cut your hours. My husband pops in the office and will say, are we going to eat lunch today?
You mean, are you going to make lunch today?
Isn't it dinner time? It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Are we going to
cook dinner?
And I'm like, honey, whatever is in the fridge. But yesterday, I mentioned to you, Angel, that I cooked a real meal. So he wanted a real meal. So I said, okay, I'm going to break down.
What did you cook?
He wanted enchiladas, Spanish rice. And so that's exactly what he got. His enchiladas and Spanish rice. So
Spanish rice.
I think I see a lot of people cooking again. Like, I don't think I've cooked so much in the last 5 years.
Right.
Like, we're having real meals. Are you not finding that we call it like a real meal? We're having.
And are you having the family at the table and everything?
Down at the table as a family, having dinner. We're playing board games, and so it's like we've gone back in time, right? Because it's now we're doing these family things that we used to do when they were little, and it is. I think hashtag slow your roll. We have definitely done that. I love that.
Brought the family time back in there,
Right. Okay. So now you are this brilliant leader in this brand new space, Martha, just bringing on your healthcare workers, right? Your tribe, your clients, and helping them do all this, and really even helping them to start a business, and even to how to maximize some tax credits. How do you do that? Because I want to know that.
So if you're an employer and you need to hire, let's say physically, you need to hire an assistant, receptionist, what have you, right? Administrative assistant. If he or she, qualifies under the guidelines for the tax credits, and you hire this individual, every state has their own budget. I don't know what your state offers, but for the state of California, let's say hypothetical, you hire a veteran. For the veterans, it's up to 70% reimbursement tax credits. So in other words, it's based on hourly. So depending on whatever they're earning hourly, if you're paying them $10, $15, $20, an hour, you're going to get the 50 to 70% reimbursement. At the end, when you're getting ready to do your taxes, there's another tax break. And again, depending on what state you're in, state of California is anywhere from $2,800 reimbursement up to $3,500 reimbursement.
Wow.
So you register with your employment development department, but each state is different. And I have utilized the reimbursement program tax credits for a lot of the veterans. And some of them are, healthcare professionals, physician assistant, nurse practitioners, because what are they doing for 5, 6, 7 years? They're in college, right? So they don't necessarily have the finances to help them to, go out for interviews. They don't even have gas allowance, clothing allowance. So they also help with that as well. So it's a great program. It benefits both. Mostly the employee who's out looking for work. Again, as I said, I've hired the physician assistant and nurse practitioners under this program. And now I have 2 that are doctors, MDs, that have gone through this program. And it just excites me. I get so happy. I just get so happy.
I love that. It's such good news to know that you can hire a veteran and get all these tax breaks.
Tax
and
credits.
we need that right now, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so you have, Miss Martha, you have a free offer to give to our listeners today. Do you want to describe what they get?
Well, they do receive, I'm offering the 30-minute free consultation to work with them and help them plan pulling out their greatness. I do an assessment and ask them a few questions. What do they feel their expertise in? What do they like? And help them walk through the process. And then from there, if they decide they want to do a career search, then I lead and I guide them to that. If they want me to help them step by step, then that's one of my online courses that I'm offering.
Love it. How do they get all that?
So they're gonna text me, and or they can go on my Facebook page and set an appointment, right? And that'll come to me, and then I can turn around and get a hold of them, and we can walk through the steps.
What do they text? Who do they text?
So they're gonna text me directly at 619-207-7703. And I can't remember what word did I put in there.
Oh, I've got it. Hold on. I was just looking at my other thing. Oh yeah. So it's text greatness.
Greatness.
Yeah. So text the word greatness, 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 to 619-207-7703. Right. You get your free 30-minute consultation. Find your greatness. Martha will help you find your greatness, a step-by-step action plan. If you want to become a healthcare business plus, you get their second book at a discounted price coming soon.
Oh,
does that say May 7th?
What is your book called?
So the second book, it's already done. I'm just going through the steps of getting it, proofreading, editing, and all this kind of good stuff. So the projected date for the second book is going to be right before Mother's Day.
That is 30 days from today.
Yep.
What is the title?
So what it is, it's a back-to-back to my book. If you bought my book or have my book, it's a workbook and it's a journal. And so it's going to walk you through some of the healing process, because the healing has to take place before you can get to the next level, right? For some of us that have gone through domestic violence or any form of post-traumatic stress disorder, we need to deal with some serious issues, right? So the book is going to help you. It's going to walk you through the steps that you need to help you to get to the next level.
I love that.
Thank you, Martha.
You're on your book tour.
Yeah, we're gonna see all sorts of fun stuff, right? When we have a new book, it's always so much fun to do all the marketing and campaigning, see how people come out of the woodwork to support you. So I love that. This has been dynamite.
Well, thank you, Martha, so much. Stick around.
Yes.
Stick around in our green room.
Right? now we're gonna bring on and introduce you all to our sexy little gentleman here. Can I say that? So sorry, Roosevelt.
It is a morning show. I think there's certain words that you can't say on a morning show. Well, this is the Tina show, and we can do what we want.
He's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we say sexy, juicy goodness and all types of stuff.
I know, but I don't mean it in like, a dirty way. I think it's like fabulous. You guys get your minds out of the gutter.
Right?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna bring on our fabulous next guest. Today, many businesses struggle with the hard decision of whether to keep their small business dream alive or with closing their doors forever due to the lack of financial capital to grow and expand their business, especially today in this corona pandemic. Millions are struggling to keep their doors open from the losses that they are sustaining, right? Like so many are just watching the opportunities go out the door. Roosevelt Morris, he's a medically retired U.S. Marine and co-founder and chief funding officer of 133 Approved. He helps businesses stay in business. Want to stay in business? Say yes, right? Don't close those doors. Stay in business. Talk to Roosevelt. He's been in the insurance and commercial and finance industry since 2006, and he specializes in capital acquisition for business continuation for over 700 businesses in the United States. He's going to share on how to and how not to obtain funding in our business and teach us how to avoid doing it the hard way versus how to do it the easy way. Roosevelt, I love this. I mean, what a perfect time to talk about this. What are you seeing as the nature that's really going on for businesses right now? What are your clients calling you about?
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for having me on your show and being one of your inaugural visitors. And thank you, Martha, for your service, for what you're doing for us veterans. And you great guys. But today, before this pandemic, businesses were, pretty much they'll go to the bank or they'll do the credit card processing thing for funding. And what I found was that most of them didn't know that we existed. So they would take the hard way of going to the bank, getting rejected, and then making a decision whether, I'll go to my aunt or my uncle, my dad, and see if I can get the money. They'll get a no most of the time. Or if they did, without the education, they would use the money and, overdo it, mismanage it and be out of business and have only decision to go out of business. So what I see now in this pandemic, I see a lot of business had no choice because without customers, you can't stay in business. And when the government decides that you can't have customers, you have no choice. So, but go out of business. I look out at the cruise ships out of my window and I see 15, 16 cruise ships parked in port or in the ocean, because they have no berth to go to. And I think about the millions of dollars per day that are being lost to the small businesses who are like the meat industry, the dairy industry, the cleaning industry, the water industry, all this that goes onto those ships on a daily basis that I used to see, and that's millions of dollars being lost every day, and millions of small businesses not being able to fund themselves, and their families are being affected. So one cruise ship can affect, like 30, 40 families, because of the industries.
We're watching everybody's going, yep. Right. Like we're all being impacted, even if as a business owner or as businesses we used to go to, right? We were patrons of, right? Like it is, there's not a single person that hasn't been touched by this.
Right.
Roosevelt, what do you see right now with the pandemic going on right now? What kind of advice would you give to those small business owners?
Well, what I would say is if you can go to the bank and you can get funding at this time, but most banks are not funding. They've stepped back, and so they're not funding a lot of people.
I mean, my husband went to the bank and our business banker, he's like, yeah, I'm not really sure, like what, and I'll get back to you. And I told Jay, I'm like, no way, like he should be on top of that. Like they should be like proactive. He should be sending us stuff. So yeah, they don't know. They're not there really to help the small business get through this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so that's why we come in, because it's been that way I've been doing the commercial funding for the last 4 years. And because I, when back in 2003 and 4, after I was let go from one of what I thought was the greatest job in the world as a network engineer, traveling around the world, seeing kings and presidents and CEOs and multimillionaires and billionaires, after fixing their equipment, giving me tickets to the Oscars and the Olympics and the Grammys and things like that. I was let go. Actually, I was let go before I knew I was let go. I was coming back from the Dominican Republic after doing a $2 million deal. And I landed, decided to take my stuff back to the office. And I got in, everybody said, Roosevelt, you're back. You made it. I said, yeah. And I logged into my machine and my manager said, Roosevelt, you're in the office? I said, yeah, can you come to my office? He says, so I get to the office and there's HR and there's him. And he said, I'm just gonna cut to the point. Dude, you've been gone for 4 weeks in the Dominican Republic. We forgot you were here. We had a layoff 3 weeks ago and we laid you off 3 weeks ago. But, I was like, really? Okay, I've been getting paid for 3 weeks. Oh, you were out of sight, out of mind. I'm sorry, but effective immediately.
But for the last month, you were in DR?
Yeah, working on their equipment, fixing with the Banco Popular, making sure they saved this $2 million deal. All they knew is they saved the money. But so I said, well, I know what I'm doing. So I went home, and there too I lost because I came home early, and so my then wife was packing up, moving, and leaving me a note, and she had filed for divorce. So I lost a job, lost a family, and then 3 days later the chef came. She wasn't paying the mortgage, so I lost the house too. So within 72 hours of fixing millions, I went from the American dream to American nightmare. So anyway, and so I decided to start a business, with what I knew, and I kept getting no from all the banks. And one day while I was taking a bath in my car, I had parked that night in front of Goodwill. I didn't know it, but I went inside to get some clothing, and a friend of mine, ex-Marine Lance Corporal, who he says I saved his life, but I don't think I really saved his life. But he was the manager of the store, and they was having a finance class that were free to veterans, and I went to that class, and that's how my life changed right there. So I learned how to fund, for probates and, mortgages and things like that. And so that's how I got into this business. So that's what makes the difference for me. I know how small businesses can lose when they don't know, they're not aware of the things that are available to them. So my thing is to make them aware there's an alternative capital available when the banks say no.
I love that you took something that was so negative and turned it around and completely turned your life around.
Right. It is a beautiful, right? Like, from American Dream to American Nightmare. But
oh, that sounds like a book title.
Okay.
I wonder who we can get to help you write this book. From American Dream. Or from American Dream to American Nightmare. I love that.
I love it too. Right?
First here on the Angel and Tina Morning Talk Show.
You heard it here. Yeah, you heard it here first, right? And we've got 90 days. We can get that book out for you, Roosevelt. But putting your story and putting these case studies and companies and businesses and because you changed your life, right? How many did I see you're helping? You work with 700 businesses. Look at all those lives you've impacted.
Yeah. Well, we do what we can.
Okay,
he's so modest.
I know he is, but what really, Roosevelt, what should we be doing right now? What can we be doing when the bank says no? I know there are resources, but what would you tell people right now? We don't have income coming in. We're probably credited max to the hilt. The bank isn't offering us anything. And I mean, fortunately, there's a lot of
Small
payment
business
delays and
loans
stuff, right?
and
But
SBA.
Right.
what do we do? Where should we go? Who do we trust?
Well, I would say if you can get a business loan from the bank and, or, go get it, because they're, right now they will offer you some great terms. And this SBA loans that are coming through, they're coming. It's going to take a while, but they're there. If you can get it, I'll say get it. But if you can't, we're available. Now, we're expensive, but what I usually say to people is, if you have to pay $1,000 for, I'm just saying hypothetically, $1,000 for a $10,000 loan, and it's going to keep your doors open.
Yeah.
And you got a great, a good time frame to pay it back. Take that, because if it's going to 2x or 3x your business, then the cost of the funding is less than cost of keeping your doors open. But if the cost of the funding is more than what you're going to use it for, then I would say, pass it up. We don't want to put you in debt deeper than you already are. What I want to do is save businesses and keep your dream alive, because most small businesses start because someone had a dream.
Yeah.
And I'm not a dream killer. I don't want anybody to kill mine, but I'm not a dream killer. So we want you, and we have alternative ways for you to raise capital as well. So we don't just loan money. We teach you how to, the different areas where you can raise money. For example, you can do it through, there's, most small businesses know about the credit card funding, where you can get massive amounts, you get approved for massive amount of credit cards, and you can use that funding to fund your business. We've got, PayPal. There's an area on PayPal where you can get funding for certain things. And also there's also, if you've got a mortgage, you've got paper on a mortgage that you're renting, and you want to get capital out of that mortgage. We have ways where you don't have to sell it. You can sell months or years of that mortgage, and you can get capital from that. And we do that for you. That way, once that deal is over, you get your mortgage, you get your house back. So it's not, there's so many ways to do it. And, if you want to find out, just, I can tell you how to do it, because like I said, our mission is to help businesses stay in business.
You're like a country song playing backwards. You get your house back, you get your car back, you get your business back. I love it.
And you don't even need to have your wife back. So Roosevelt, how do people get in touch with you? How would they get in touch with you if they wanted some help with all of this?
Okay, well, you can text me. Text SMTM, which is show me the money.
Wait, you gotta say it. You gotta do it. Do it like Cuba.
You can text SMTM, show me the money, and to my number 770-990-9944, and I'll send you. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll send you a booklet. A free booklet, says when the banks say no, we say yes. And I'll send you that booklet. It tells you different ways to get funding for different things. So you're not trying to do it, crazy, because the bad way to do it would be to go into the bank. Most people go into the bank, they don't have a business plan, or they have a dream. They know how to draw, they know how to cook, they know how to do things, and they want to service that dream, but they don't know about business. Okay, so things like that. So we teach you those things because we want you to stay in business, not go in, lose your money, and then say it didn't work. Okay.
Give that number again, that we can get that booklet. And then I know you've practiced saying it.
So you gotta say it. I mean, come on, you gotta say it like Cuba did way back in the day.
Yeah, so it's SMTM, show me the money. You can type show me the money. That's why I know it's you. Okay. And to 770-990-9944. And then I'll send you the booklet, and any questions that you have, just shoot them back to me. I'll answer all your questions. Or
we're getting people asking for you to say it. You gotta say it.
Show me the money.
Well, I love that the text message, the code, right? Because people are familiar with it. right? You take something that's sticky. I've done, when we talk about messaging, right? Sweet and sticky, you know, something that people remember, that they can tell other people, they refer others to you, right? And so like text show me the money, ST.
Oh, me the money, SMTM.
Right? Yeah, I would have to like see it out, but it's brilliant marketing, brilliant. And so Roosevelt, I bet, do you have like a really feel good story of like somebody who came to you and they're like, I got nothing, I got no other things, and if I don't get this, like it's all going away, and because of working with you it turned around? Do you have like a sweet little story you could share with us?
Yeah, sure. One that always strikes me in particular is this young lady. I was doing a seminar in Orlando, and you know, I put out how much, you know, the cost of money versus the interest and everything like that. And I got the feel that most people in the audience thought things were a little too expensive for them, right? So this young lady came to me. I was on my way to the car, and she came to me. She said, Mr. Money, Mr. Money.
Mr. Money.
Mr. Money.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be your nickname from now on. Mr. Money.
Mr. Money.
Mr. Show Me the Money.
We should have led with that.
We should have. Oh, this is gonna be your new nickname from now on.
So she said, you know, she had a pizzeria, okay? And it was, there was a new pizzeria opened up close to her, and it was killing her business. And so what she wanted to do was expand it, put a little outside credenza out, so add about 10 more seats to it, but she couldn't get the money from the bank. And so she said, Mr. Morris, I said, no, you can call me Roosevelt. She said, I really need this money, but I think it's too expensive and I can't afford it. So I asked her, I said, well, her name was Lisa. I said, well, Lisa, what would happen? How long would you be able to stay in business if you don't get the loan? She said, well, about 2 weeks. I said, well, if you think about it, if you apply for it, and based on what you just told me, I think you can get it within 24 hours. You could be approved, and within a week, you can have the money. And so on that second week, you'll be in business. You'll probably be making a profit. Okay, and so she went ahead and took the leap of faith. Okay, and you know, in 3 months, her business, she built a patio that added an extra $60,000 a month to her business that was already, you know, making 75. So she 3x her business within, you know, 90 days. So that to me was, you know, was awesome, because it was, you know, most of the time I'm not as personalized with each person I turned over to my team. But this time I walked her through it. I gave her some education. We had our team, you know, educate and teach her what she was missing, you know, and how to, you know, help people, how to hire people, you know, because they were stealing from them and things like that. So that helped her out. And so within 90 days, I got a great Christmas present, because she, you know, yeah, because
that was nice.
I love that story. Wow.
90 days versus the year that we gave it.
Brought her so much money.
That's beautiful. I love that story, Roosevelt. Give your phone number one more time. Tell people what they get. And then Martha, we're going to come back for you for one more time to give your free opt-in again as well. So Mr. Money, tell us what we get.
Money himself.
Okay. So you type SMTM, show me the money, at 770-990-9944.
Thank you so much, Roosevelt, for being a guest on the Angel and Tina Morning Show.
So the booklet will be when banks say no, we say yes, and it tells you what to do. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
How big is that booklet, Roosevelt?
It's only 20 pages.
20
I
pages.
think we can make it another 80.
I think fine. I think we could put that inside from American Nightmare or from American Dream to American Nightmare back to American Dream. Might be a really long title, but all right. So fabulous, Roosevelt. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being our first guest on the Angel and Tina Morning Talk Show. Martha, go ahead and give us your phone number and what they get again, please.
Okay, so the number again is 619-207-7703. and you're going to text greatness. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to walk you through the steps of what you need to do to find whatever it is that your calling is, walk you through. Maybe you're going to write a book utilizing the tax credits if you're an employer, or perhaps an individual that's looking for work. We can also maximize the two, and I can help you find that employer that will utilize the program and help you to get to the next step.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Tina, you should give your opt-in too. Like, how do people get in touch with you, and what do you give for your fabulous little opt-in?
So for those of you who do not know me, I'm Tina Torres, the gratitude specialist. And what did we call, we named myself something.
The customer retention
expert.
Mm-hmm.
So if you text connection to 26786, you get $1,000 off my new Connection to Client Blueprint that is going to be launching in 7, maybe 10 days to help you go from connection all the way to client and bringing you more cash flow.
Ooh, I love it. Without adding a single new customer.
Without adding a single new customer. And Angel, my beautiful co-host that I am so honored to call you a friend as well. What are you giving away?
How fun is it? So a couple hours ago, as my alarm's going off, I'm like, oh Lordy, what did I say yes to doing this, right? Like, this is our quarantine time. I should be able to sleep in and rest, right? But I will tell you what, Roosevelt, Martha, you just lit up my morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I am a media exposure specialist. I help you get more exposure, attract more leads, using the power of what we call OPP, other people's platforms, being interviewed on radio shows, podcasts, webinars, summits, TV shows, magazines, press releases. And you can get your complimentary media guide and get started today, all for free, by going to makeyourbigimpact.com, makeyourbigimpact.com, and download your complimentary media guide there. We do help with publishing, we help with publicity and all that media. And I'm just super excited.
I am so excited. Thank you
first
guys all for watching our first morning talk show and for supporting us. I have about 70 people on my watch party watching.
Ooh. Wow.
Yes. So thank you guys, Facebook, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. So it's Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern every morning, every weekday until we're out of quarantine. And then you never know. You never know what God's going to do.
Right.
Love it. I love it. Get the opt-ins from Martha, get the opt-ins from Roosevelt, and stay tuned, tell your friends, and let us light up your morning right here on the Tina and Angel Morning Talk Show every morning, weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Have a blessed day.